The idea for the first credit union formed in Germany in 1850 and was called the People's Bank. The concept quickly spread throughout Europe and found its way to North America in 1900, with the first credit union in the United States opening in New Hampshire in 1909. It took another 55 years, in 1964, for the movement to make its way to Frankenmuth.
Middle part of 64, spring and the fall, I should say. And then we had numerous meetings. We had maybe 20, 30 people at times there for the meeting. And we had Vince Schickinger was his name. He was a representative from the Michigan Credit Union League, and he helped us to get organized. And he, like I said, we had many meetings, and it finally got to the point where December 12th, yep, we're going to have that credit union. And then we got our license from the state of Michigan, and that's why in December of '64, we organized it.
We were the first financial organization out of the Frankenmuth State Bank area, which had little cubulos built all over town to avoid other banks from coming in. And of course later on, after we got going, the state ruled against Frankenmuth and they had to let the competition come in. It was a little rough. We had a little rough. The word union played quite a part in it. And everybody felt that we contacted for joining the credit union. Of course, we included everybody that was in the distillery business, flour business, anything that had to deal with the manufacturing of beer, etc. So therefore, Seilinger Distributing, Star of the West, Geyer Brothers Brewing. When we went into Star of the West that first time and they heard the word union, they associated that with labor union. And that was quite hard to overcome at that time.
They didn't join for 3-4 years. We couldn't get them to join. Just couldn't get them. And the reason why was Dick Kraft. He was a director on the Frankenmuth Bank, and he was the manager of the place here. So they didn't want to trouble her. So then they didn't join, and then all of a sudden, Howie Trinkline, he was the first one that we got to join. And then all of a sudden, Dick Kraft joined our credit union too. And all their employees joined the credit union then.
With the credit union in place, the next order of business was to find an office and hire the credit union's first employees.
After we got started, then we said, hey, we got to have the office. And then the Carling Brewing Company, they said, we'll give you the space to build the office, and we will buy the equipment, the lumber and stuff to build it. So they gave us a spot in the powerhouse was on the north end. So we built an 8x8 office. 8x8 office, and then, like I say, Max Arn was the president, Willis Feitgruber was the treasurer, and then I was a secretary. And Dolores Dietzel was our first office girl. And then Millie Bublitz from Rees area. And Jane Palke also was from Rees area, I think. They were in there. And then it was Kathy Beerline got in there. Kathy Beerline and Gail Beyer and Vicky Schmitzer. After that.
Willis came to my house to ask me if I wanted a job. And I said, yeah. And so he said, well, we're opening a credit union. He said, would you be interested? And I said, sure. You know, because I knew how to add, subtract, and all that kind of stuff. And that's how it started.
And then, well, all of a sudden we outgrew that office. So the brewery said, okay, we'll give you another spot on the second level. We'll give you, and that's about 4 times larger than what you have right now.
And while the new office space was larger, it wasn't easy to get to.
And there were steps, they were really narrow steps, and we were wondering that nothing ever happened there, nobody stumbled, and finally the brewery said, gee, that's too dangerous, so they built an outside step to go on the outside of the building and then come in.
Those steps were unbelievable. They were only about the width of that, so if you were carrying something, you had to really go slow and lean against something so that you don't go down, and down was even worse because the steps, like I said, that you walked on were only like that, and that your feet are bigger than that. And so it was a slow step, but it worked, and we had a refrigerator up there full of beer too, but I didn't drink any. At least not that I can recall.
The early days of the Frankenmuth Credit Union also had some interesting ways to collect savings dollars so that loans could be given out.
When people wanted to borrow money, we had to go out in the plan. The people that we knew had some money, we go out to the plan and said, hey, have you got some extra money that you can put in the credit union? Because we got some people that want to borrow money. And that's what happened. For many times we had to go to the plan and make a collection so we could borrow money out.
We did it with Star of the West, we did it with Geyer Brewery, and just anybody, and even if we saw somebody on the street that we knew was a customer, we'd ask so that we had money to lend to people.
We knew the philosophy of the credit union in Frankenmuth was not the same as it was nationwide, that people would borrow money for a $10 or $15, $25, $50 item. Mm-hmm. Of course, a $50 item back in 1964 was, much different than a $50 item today. But there were times when people wanted an automobile, and we had to go around and ask our membership in the brewery at the time, can you invest a little more? Can you invest a little more so we can make this loan? Because we didn't have enough on hand at the time until we got rolling with it. And yes, we had to make those kind of tours throughout and say, hey boys, mm-hmm. Chip in. It's time to hold the task.
The Frankenmuth Credit Union continued to flourish. Much of that success was due to the dedicated board members who volunteered their time to help the growing number of members.
Everybody was so eager to get it together and keep it going. However, if anyone would tell me today that this is what they envisioned 50 years after its founding, I would say the truth is not always in them, because I don't think anybody could have seen down the road that far and see what they see today in the Frankenmuth Credit Union.
I thought it was very nice of them to cooperate or to help out, because to do all of those things yet above and beyond what you had to do for the regulators and stuff, it would have been really hard to almost like a 24/7 job. But no, they were great.
How many years was I on? I have no idea how many years I was on the board. I wasn't on the treasurer that long because once they moved out of the Carling property, mm-hmm. I couldn't be the treasurer anymore because I had to stay on my job. But I enjoyed my years, and I still enjoy going. And once you become that first treasurer, you're always known as Mr. Credit Union. Just the title, and I still have that today. I hear it every once in a while.
Today, board meetings are held in a dedicated boardroom. In the credit union's early days, meetings were held in a little different fashion.
Board meetings we had in the what they call the club room, hospitality room at the brewery. Okay. And because we had liquid refreshments on tap, there were 3 spigots there, mm-hmm. hot water, cold water, and the middle one was beer. And most people went for the middle one. So.
And then later on we had meetings, and then we went over to Edelweiss. And I took a case of beer along, and we had our lunch in there and had our beer.
Yeah.
And you know, I asked that Weiss owned it that time. We could have our, after our meeting, have our lunch in here, and can I get some beer? Well, why not? So I brought beer in every time we had our meeting, and I brought a case of beer along.
Eventually, the credit union outgrew the confines of Carlene's brewery. The need to have a dedicated building became more and more real.
And then we moved up here to that Nichterlein Rimmel Agency building. So we took the lower level there, and that lasted for X number of years, and then that got too small, and then finally we decided we got to do something, and then there was a space that we could rent from the Bavarian Mall there, from IGA on the north end. So we got that spot, and X number of years, we had to add on to that office, and then we added on again.
When there was no more room in the Bavarian Mall, and because we had to expand there 3 times. We took over people's spots when they left and went somewhere else, and then we just expanded. Well, there was no more expansion left, so we had to build.
At the groundbreaking ceremonies of our present location, every move we have made, I cautioned the audience that when the stock market goes bad, it's always termed as going south. But every move that our credit union ever made was always a little further north. And to that very day, we were still going north.
Right.
Being one of the Frankenmuth Credit Union's first employees, CEO Vicki Schmitzer has witnessed many of the changes that have helped the credit union thrive.
I was one of 3 employees that we had, and we did absolutely everything. We opened accounts, we ran the drive-through, we ran each check through a machine at the end of the day, we helped out with credit approvals, we did the accounting, we did the collections, we cleaned the bathrooms, we shoveled the snow, we helped out with the board meetings. We had a lot of hats that we wore.
And as the credit union has grown, so has the number of services that are helping the growing membership.
Frankenmuth Credit Union has a lot of products and services, and we have just about everything for just about everyone. We specialize in business services, not only business and commercial loans, but you can come and do your banking and have credit cards for your employees and your vehicle loans. We can handle all of that. We have a member investment service. Those investments can be made. They're not federally insured by the NCUA, but we can get you the returns that you would get at any other investment service that you might do business with. We have a great mortgage program, and there's talk that mortgage rates are going to be low again, so there might be room for that one more big refinancing boom that everybody thinks we're going to have. We also have Casaso Reward Checking, and that would allow you to get a higher interest rate on a checking account, more than you might be able to get somewhere else.
And now that membership has topped 30,000 members, it is time to expand once again.
We built our main office of the Frankenmuth Credit Union with the green roof in 1999 and moved in early 2000. And it didn't take very long before we filled up all the space that was in there. We're going through a major renovation project, and we expect it to be done in August of this year. We're going to be bringing back our management team all under one roof, and we're going to have a community center located in the lower level that people can rent for showers, weddings, meetings, that type of thing.
And with the help of the additional space, the Frankenmuth Credit Union can continue to provide the personal service they strive to give their members.
Some of the things that I'm particularly proud of the Frankenmuth Credit Union this last year, our net worth topped the 11% mark. We were named Credit Union of the Year by the Michigan Credit Union League. We also were awarded Radin's Crystal Award, which is given to the top 10 credit unions in the United States under $500 million, and we were one of those. I'm also very happy to report that 100% of our staff volunteer for different things each year. They also came up with the idea of Hope Pocket, and what Hope Pocket is that each employee voluntarily gives money out of their paychecks for unexpected events that our members might be going through, say funerals that the families can't afford to give the proper burial to a person. We also are interested in taking care of people that might be visiting people that are in the hospital, and we take coolers to them while their loved one might be in the emergency room. We love to do random acts of kindness. Our staff is involved in the rake and run, where they rake somebody's leaves and then run away, never expecting anything in return. We also have a group that organizes Thanksgiving dinners for those members that may be in need. And we purchase Christmas gifts for our members that don't have the ability to do so.
It's not a surprise that the future is looking bright for Frankenmuth Credit Union.
We're proud of our past, we're committed to continue to what we do best, and we're excited about what the future may bring.
Trust, honor, secure, solutions. These aren't just words they say at Frankenmuth Credit Union, it's their commitment to their members and the communities they serve.
I'm busy, and I want a bank where I can access my account the way I want to and when I want to.
Members of Frankenmuth Credit Union have access to their accounts through mobile, online, text or phone banking solutions. 17 local branches, extended hours until 7 p.m. and Sundays. 246 shared branches nationwide. Nearly 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide. E-deposit using any smartphone.
Someday I'll be rich, but for now, not so much. That's why I need to make sure I am spending my money wisely.
Good value is more important for today's consumers than ever before. Free Kasasa checking that earns out of this world rates or 1% back on debit card purchases. Free unlimited online, mobile, and text banking. Free bill pay. VIP rewards that gives members better loan and CD rates, waives fees, and more. Free 24/7 fraud monitoring for credit and debit cards.
We know the importance of giving back both in our time and money, and we like organizations that do the same thing.
Saying Frankenmuth Credit Union is committed to the communities they serve is an understatement. Each year, the FCU staff donate almost 1,000 hours of their personal time to area groups and organizations. With their Frankenmuth Credit Union Foundation for Our Communities and their other community reinvestment initiatives, they're funding major projects in our communities to the tune of roughly $200,000. And with their affiliations with organizations such as Saginaw Shiawassee Habitat for Humanity, United Way of Saginaw, Frankenmuth Farmers Market, Michigan Blood, and the Great Lakes Bay chapter of the American Red Cross, they are making a positive impact.
At Frankenmuth Credit Union, we strive to provide our members the services they want and the newest technology they need to improve their financial well-being. We are constantly looking for new products and services that will save our members time, make their information even more secure, and improve their lives.
Frankenmuth Credit Union spends countless hours of time and resources annually to find new and innovative ways to enhance our members' lives. Money Desktop brings all of your accounts together for an all-inclusive budgeting experience. Save to Win By simply saving money, you earn chances to win cash, up to $10,000. Kasasa Free Rewards Checking. That rewards you for doing what you already do. E-Deposit lets you deposit a check using your smartphone, tablet, or PC. And more exciting solutions coming soon.
Making the impossible possible. Affordable insurance solutions for Frankenmuth Credit Union members. Visit mymemberinsurance.com for more details.